this is Jeff Mesnick here with the Channel Marketing Journal, and I'm excited to be here today with Sanjay Gupta. Is that right?
That's right, Jeff. Yeah.
And you are the GVP of Channels and Alliances for Logic Monitor. You've just taken on this role. How exciting!
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm in week 5, so still drinking from the fire hose.
Excellent. So let's talk a little bit about where you're from, like how what kind of led you to this point, and maybe you can share a little bit about and then your goals.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks. So for the last 4 years, I was running global channels and alliances for BMC Software.
Mm-hmm.
That was, also very much focused on a transformation of the channel, growth in the channel, and kind of building out our go-to-market with channels and alliances on a global basis.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of partners who had worked with BMC but hadn't really had a programmatic or a structured engagement and the ability to for BMC to really invest in their business.
Right.
So I joined them in February 2015. And the business was declining year to year. The channel was, I'd say, very demoralized in many ways.
Right.
And so it was one of those things where you really have to get in and figure out what are the levers that you can move to have an impact. I did a roadshow of going out there and meeting with all the partners, kind of understanding their concerns and what had gone on, and what they were looking for, in terms of working with BMC and the opportunity that BMC presented for them.
Right.
There was also a lot of things like channel conflict to deal with, and how do we get certified, all this kind of stuff. So that was my first, a couple of months there was really in terms of building out what the plan ought to be, right? At that stage, we had like 50 certified resources in our partners on a global level.
Yep.
And which, I mean, for a company that's 25 years old, that's ridiculous.
Right.
There's a lot of things that were broken. And we had the compelling driver of the sales kickoff in April. So I had to get the strategy in place, and we launched a new program in April. We put a program in place to help our partners get certified and trained on the products. Okay. Mm-hmm. I put a program in place to invest in sales and pre-sale skills, and then I put a program in place to help them do demand generation.
Great.
Okay.
Yep.
So at the end of year 1, we turned a double-digit decline into growth for the channel.
Wow.
Okay. And went from 50 certified resources to over 500 certified resources.
Wow, that's great.
Which is phenomenal. So,
yeah.
And then, it was a case of keep on investing, keep on working with the partners and helping grow their businesses. Right. So that was, for me, that was, very interesting because you're taking something that was established and, but needing to be fixed.
Yep.
It was a turnaround, basically.
Right.
So that was BMC 4 years. 4 years later, it was we were acquired by a new fund, and and then there was changes in terms of approach, go to market, etc. And I thought I've done 4 years; it was time for a change. Okay.
Right. Yep.
Took the summer off, and then actually came across this opportunity at Logic Monitor, and there the opportunity and the issue is very different, because Logic Monitor had been very much of a business that was focused on MSPs and the SMB and mid market up to now. Okay, but pivoting to the enterprise space, all right. and really hadn't built out a channel of any sorts. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So very much reliant on MSPs to do but to be both customers, but also cover that SMB and mid market.
Right.
Right. And then we had an inside sales group that were doing the vast, amount of demand generation, trying to sell it, almost remotely.
Right.
Okay. So, the opportunity here now is very much around building a global channel for Logic Monitor. Recruitment is a big element of what we're doing, especially in the international markets. And then, putting a framework and a plan in place to drive growth with our channel partners.
Right.
Right. The other piece of it is around our strategic partnerships, our strategic alliances with Amazon, Azure, so with Microsoft form, and then also Google Cloud.
Interesting. So I imagine that a lot of your time will be spent on the road.
Unfortunately, it goes with the territory. It's not a sit in some office somewhere or do it all remotely. Channels is a contact sport.
Yeah.
So, you have to be out there. You have to be engaged. You have to support the partner. You have to understand the challenges that they're facing, what they're working on, and you have to collaborate really in trying to drive growth ultimately. So, what we need to do, we're the experts on the platform that we have.
Yep.
We know what customers want. We know how we're different competitively. And the opportunity for us is to work with them and educate them on how they win in the marketplace with us.
So can you share a little bit about how you're working also with companies like Azure, like Microsoft Azure?
Mm-hmm.
What, are you able to recruit partners that way? Is it more of a platform play for you? How would you define that?
So we work predominantly to help customers, manage their workload, monitor and manage their workloads.
Right.
So their IT infrastructure. So on something like a AWS or an Azure, what we help them with is understanding what the customer is doing on their on-prem environment and how they can help move those workloads and manage those workloads in the cloud. So what we help Azure with and also AWS is helping them understand what workloads the customer's still running on-prem and how much of that will be more effective if they moved it onto their platform.
Interesting. So I'm going to ask a side question that I didn't prep you for, because it's about a conversation that I had recently with a bunch of people where we were trying to say, in 5 years, who are the top 3 cloud providers? Is it going to be still right now? We know, Amazon AWS is number 1, Azure's 2, and Google's 3.
Yeah.
Are we going to still be there in 5 years? Is there going to be a change? Is there going to be a new player in the mix?
So we often, when we look at these cloud providers, you still have Oracle, SAP, you have the Salesforce guys, you have all of these other players out there,
right?
With their own proprietary clouds running their applications.
Yep.
All right. So I think what from my perspective, if you think about the cloud, it provides the agility for the company to move workloads into that environment, spin them up, and get them working effectively. What we've seen is that people are still having to run their own on-prem environments. That's one of our USPs. Not going away. All right. And I think what you'll see is a consolidation. I don't think anybody can, it's a market where scale is going to be important because it's all about economies of scale for this kind of business. All right. And I think ultimately, Google has a lot of opportunity, but they've got to differentiate from the likes of Azure and AWS. All right. So I actually think that you may find one of the other large enterprise players leveraging their installed base and expanding into this space.
Right. So your prediction is that maybe one of the other players, whether it be Salesforce, Oracle,
Yeah.
maybe IBM, will rise up.
I don't know whether, IBM struggled,
Yeah.
and it continues to struggle to differentiate. I mean, considering they have the leadership
Yeah.
position in this market, the market's run away from them. People, don't really think about IBM in that same vein.
Right. Interesting. Cool. Well, this has been great. What I like to end with, question-wise, is,
Okay.
music is kind of, for me, is always a, kind of motivator. It's a definer. It helps me, it kind of captures a mood maybe that I'm in,
Yeah.
and everything I do. So if you were to kind of, and you and I talked a little bit about this, but you have a specific style of music that you kind of think really relates to the work that you do in the channel. Maybe you can just share that with us for a minute.
Well, I mean, I do like a lot of jazz, I have
Yeah.
to say. And, I think there's a lot of complexity in jazz, but there's a lot of, flexibility, adaptation that captures the mood that you're in, but also reflects off the audience.
Hmm.
When people are riffing, in a club, etc.
Right.
So I think it definitely provides both an opportunity to reflect, but also to think about what you need to get accomplished,
Yeah.
and and kind of build a very good vibe, with both you and the people that you work with.
Yep. Yeah, and I think I like the riffing idea because so often I got to imagine, especially with where you are in your role today,
Hmm.
where you're drinking from the fire hose, and you're going to be on the road. There's going to be so much kind of your adjustments that you're going to have to make,
Hmm.
riffs that you're going to have to do compared to the program. Does that sound
Yeah,
about right? Yeah.
it is. I mean, because you can't just be inflexible.
Right.
We're a startup. We're working hard to capture the market. We're working with some very large players, working with some small organizations as well.
Yep.
And we believe that we have best in class and best of breed solution for the marketplace. But it's a contact sport. You have to get out there and you have to identify what's going to work best for you, and what's going to work best for the partner in being successful.
That sounds good. And so the song that we talked about, that would be your kind of the song that you kind of think about for this?
Why don't we go with "Keep Your Head in the Sky" with Earth, Wind and Fire?
Excellent. I think it's a great song. Well, look, this has been awesome. I really appreciate the time. And what I'd like to do, if you're okay with it, is in 6 months catch up with you again.
Love to. Maybe we'll
And
meet at an airport, Jeff.
what's that?
We'll meet at an airport.
Yes, we'll meet in an airport and we'll have a drink.
Yeah.
And we should have a conversation about where, kind of what you learned over the past 6 months. Because, as you know, our audience is other channel executives. And the experience that you're having right now is something that people can really relate to and learn from. So I'd love to continue that learning for you and for them.
Love to do that. That'd be great.
Well, thank you. This has been Jeff Mesnick with the Channel Marketing Journal, and I've been excited to be talking with Sanjay Gupta, who is the new GVP of channels over at Logic Monitor. All the luck to you, man, and I look forward to
Thank you.
catching up.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jeff.